Next up, we've got our router command line interface. So the Peplink router itself has a command line interface, which you can use a variety of commands in there to do different out-of-band management activities. And so we'll show you that both directly into the router and again through InControl 2 using our remote CLI. So next up, we're going to talk about the router's command line interface. So I'm going to go to peplink.com and just show you this. I thought I would get there that way. I'll do it the hard way. If we go under support, firmware downloads, and go all the way to the bottom, we've got some nice supplemental materials down here. Under the miscellaneous section, there is this command line's SSH reference guide. So we'll download that, and I'll show you that quickly. So our routers have a built-in command line interface that you can do a lot of different things with. So you can access a lot of the things that you might access in the router GUI or from InControl, but again, you can get to this via SSH, via our command line, so that you can do this maybe in a more programmatic way. If you've got some automation or some scripting built, you can come in and grab some of these parameters or trigger some of these parameters. So there's lots of troubleshooting tools for our product directly, but there's new functionality that will be going public in a later firmware version here that will let you do some other out-of-band management capabilities. So I'm going to show you how to use these right now. So if you go under the System tab, we were here earlier, there's this CLI, SSH, and console. So again, if you've used Peplink before, you know these tooltips are full of great little nuggets. If you've not used Peplink, click on the question marks. They answer a lot of questions. We try and put very helpful information in these as much as possible. So I encourage you to click on that and just help kind of understand what some of these different functions are doing. And as you can see here, sometimes there's additional settings. You might not see the setting you exactly wanted, so you've got some additional options sometimes that are exposed through these tooltips. In any case, we've enabled the CLI, SSH, and console. And again, we get to control where that's accessible from. So I've set it to LAN and WAN. I've set the port to a custom port. And I'm leaving this login grace time at default, but you can modify that if you feel that's appropriate. So there's two ways we can reach this now. First way is just using SSH. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm just going to use the command line that's built into my Mac. But if you're on a PC, you can use PuTTY or some utility like that to do SSH. And it's real simple to access. Again, I'm on a private network, so I can reach this device through its private IP here. But I'm just SSHing to that IP and that custom port number. Entering the router password, and I'm in. So again, that command line guide that I just showed you shows you all kinds of different commands you can use, but I'll show you two commands that, again, are going to be exposed in the documentation very shortly here. One of those is accessing that serial port. So I'm telling it this is a support command, and I'm telling it I want to use the serial interface, and it's mapped out to serial interface 1 on this device. There's only one serial interface. And so I'm in that command line. Remember, I just showed, I did the show run previously, and so we're just picking up right where we left off on that Cisco switch. So we can get all the different configuration parameters that were waiting to be spilled out onto that serial port last time we accessed it. So it's just another way to access that same interface. Again, depending on your customer's requirements, depending on security posture, you may want to interface that same serial port in a different way. And so we've got a lot of different ways to get at that. I'm going to close that. The other thing that I'll show you in this same command line interface, we've got the ability to use Telnet. So we're going to log back into that router. And I don't have a Telnet device to log into here, but the syntax is pretty straightforward. So again, you can use our device as kind of a leapfrog to jump into other systems that are on the LAN side of this out-of-band management network, so that you're able to get to whatever device you need to quickly, easily, and either in an automated or a manual fashion. So again, the documentation for that CLI guide will be updated shortly so that you can see some of these new commands that are in there.